Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. The Urban Development Ministry has decided to build a memorial in honor of former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. But is this a genuine attempt to honor a former Prime Minister and his legacy, or a strategic move to win political support in Telangana and embarrass the Congress party as well? My guests are BJP spokesperson Nalin Kohli, Congress spokesperson Sanjay Jha, a close friend and confidant of the former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, Kalyani Shankar, a former TDP Rajya Sabha MP K. Ram Mohan Rao, and joining us soon, Samajwadi Party spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia. Nalin Kohli, the Narendra Modi government has decided to erect a memorial in honor of former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao. Many people suspect that the motivation is in fact a desire to embarrass the Congress party, because under Sonia Gandhi, they've made every attempt, subtle and sometimes not so subtle, to airbrush Narasimha Rao out of the Congress's memory. How do you respond to that very widespread suspicion?
Well, we reject it, because Prime Minister or former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister of India. And as far as Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned, on 15th August, he made it clear that we also acknowledge the good work done by all the preceding Prime Ministers. After all, the Prime Minister of the country is not a Prime Minister of a political party. He's much larger than that. Now, if the Congress party choose not to accord him that place in history for what he did with liberalization, for saving the country from the brink of economic collapse, also we must, for ushering in a new wave of entrepreneurship, which actually came with what happened after 91, 92, 93, and for putting in place a finance minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, who headed that whole process. You ignore his legacy. Now, that's a different issue, that for political reasons, the Congress may have chosen to not acknowledge his role to that extent, but that's for them to do so. As far as the BJP is concerned, we believe every Prime Minister of the country deserves the respect for having been so.
Sanjay Jha, your new head of the Department of Communication, Randeep Singh Surjewala, while saying that Congress supports the memorial, then went out of his way to point out that first in 2002, the Vajpayee government had come out with a policy prohibiting the construction of memorials in Delhi. And secondly, that in 2013, the UPA, after a Supreme Court order, had limited the construction of memorials to just one place close to Shakti Sthal. So are you as a party really welcoming the memorial that will be built, or are you simply trying to find technical faults with the idea? To me, it sounds very much as if you're finding technical faults.
Not at all, Karan. In fact, I can tell you that it's really a rather, kind of an oddity when you find that the BJP suddenly wakes up and discovers about the great leadership qualities of the former Prime Minister, Mr. Narasimha Rao, and how he liberalized the economy and changed the India story. The fact of the matter is that the Congress party has a huge degree of internal respect and reverence for Mr. Narasimha Rao.
Hang on a moment. You're wrong on facts. That's why I'm interrupting you. First of all, the BJP applauded Mr. Narasimha Rao when, at the start of his tenure, he initiated the economic reforms. He got on extremely well with Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And don't forget that when he died, Sonia Gandhi did insist, I believe, that his cremation and the last rites were not held in Delhi. They therefore had to be held in Hyderabad. You showed no respect, and you can't escape from that.
Karan, let me tell you what the truth is. The truth is that Mr. Narasimha Rao, our late departed leader, wished to be cremated in his hometown of Hyderabad, which is why in Hussain Sagar, there is a samadhi which was made for him in the year 2008.
This is the truth, is it?
I think the bottom line here is that
there are... This is the truth, is it? You're telling me the truth, you claim. This is the truth, is it?
The samadhi from coming up.
Okay, I have with me one of Mr. Narasimha Rao's closest confidants, a lady who knew him as a close friend right through his life. Tell us the truth, Kalyani Shankar. Is it the case he didn't wish to be cremated in Delhi, he wanted to be cremated in Hyderabad?
It is utter lie, because that night when he died, I think Shivraj Patil ji, who was a Home Minister then, he was left behind to make sure that the body was taken to Hyderabad. And he stayed until 11 o'clock in the night to persuade the family to take the body to Hyderabad. So he never said anything about, he never willed anything that he should be cremated in Hyderabad. He never talked about anything. This is utter lie.
The most important thing you're saying is that Shivraj Patil, as Home Minister, stayed in Mr. Narasimha Rao's house, persuading the family against their wishes to take the body back.
Yes. Very much.
Did you get the feeling that Shivraj Patil was doing this at Sonia Gandhi's behest?
Yes, obviously. Otherwise, why would he stay back and then do this?
So Sonia Gandhi didn't want Narasimha Rao, even though he was a former Prime Minister, to be cremated in Delhi.
I don't know whether he wanted to be cremated in Delhi or Hyderabad. I am not sure of that. But definitely the Congress leadership did not want him to be cremated in Delhi.
Sanjay Jha, how are you going to respond to that? You come to us tonight as the official Congress spokesperson, officially nominated by your party, yet you weren't even on the scene when Narasimha Rao died. Kalyani Shankar has known Narasimha Rao all his life. They were close friends. She was a confidant of his, and you just heard her tell us.
I was there on the scene.
She was there on the scene as well. A, that Shivraj Patil as Home Minister was at the home to make sure the family took the body back. B, the Congress party did not want him to be cremated in Delhi. And it was Sonia Gandhi at whose behest the body was taken back. Go on, answer that.
Well, Karan, you represent a very strong media conglomerate. Please use your resources to investigate with other people what they felt. I respect the view of the lady on your channel, but there are many people who will have a completely different standpoint. The point I wish to make is, and that is not just a technical point, there was a decision taken by the cabinet where Jagmohan was the urban development minister in Vajpayee's government, where they said no separate samadhi will be made, and that is a process that has been
just a moment, that is not
look at the flip-flop done by the BJP.
Just a moment, that's a different issue. Forgive me, that's a different issue. Come back to the issue you raised. I said to you that you had deliberately ensured that Narasimha Rao's body was sent to Hyderabad. You began by saying the exact opposite, that Narasimha Rao wanted to be buried in Hyderabad. I said to you that was a lie. Kalyani Shankar has proved that you are lying. Answer now, why are you as a spokesman lying?
You are choosing to believe somebody else. No, you are choosing to believe somebody else, but I can tell you for a fact, even I have access to information from people within the Congress party who were there at that point of time, who have said this to me and to other people within the Congress.
Let that be your face saving. Let that be your face saving. Let that be your face saving. You have access to people who were there who have said this to you. Let that be your face saving.
Because you ignore them.
Mr. Ram Mohan Rao, the idea of a memorial in Delhi to the former Prime Minister is a result of a resolution first moved by your party, the TDP, in the Telangana Assembly, and then passed as well. Yes. Why did you move it?
Yes.
Did you move it because you believe that in fact the Congress party had been unfair and unkind to Mr. Narasimha Rao, or did you move it because you thought this behind the facade of Telugu pride you could also play important, intelligent Telugu politics?
Yes, Mr. Karan, he was from Andhra Pradesh. When he contested from Nanjal also, N.T. Ramarao, he didn't put candidate also. See, he belongs to Andhra Pradesh. That time, Andhra and Telangana same, but he is a Telugu man. As, country in the very bad shape, bankrupt. At that time, he implemented reforms. When he was HRD minister also, he did well for the country. When he was external minister also, the best policy he brought. Such an eminent person and, respectable in India, he has given freedom to Manmohan Singh as a finance minister. But today Congress, that day, I am the eyewitness. When he died, myself and late R.M. Naidu, we went immediately rushed to AIMS. His grandson and relatives, except one MOS, medical and health from Congress party, none of they never there. But when we asked his family members, they said cremation has to be taken place in Delhi, and they requested also the proper, place. But Congress, they refused. They shifted body immediately to Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister also from Congress, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy.
Okay.
I fully agree Kalyan's statement, and Congress party, they have not done justice to P.V. Narasimha Rao.
Okay.
And he was a Prime Minister.
Mr. Ram Mohan Rao, let me stop you there. There's another party that also has spoken out today and created a controversy. Gaurav Bhatia is their spokesperson. Unfortunately, he can't join us by OB. He is with us on the phone. Gaurav Bhatia, Uttar Pradesh Minister Azam Khan, according to today's Times of India, says that the memorial is a reward for Narasimha Rao's tacit understanding with the RSS during the Babri Masjid demolition. He also claims that the memorial would be a way of ensuring that the memory of that demolition remains intact. Is that really the Samajwadi Party's position? Or is that just Azam Khan speaking out of turn and being offensive?
No, Karan, I would first of all like to say this, that let us understand why Mr. Azam Khan has made this statement. The demolition of Babri Masjid has been something which has pained every Indian, not just the minority community. And it happened during the regime of Mr. Narasimha Rao. Even that can't be denied. So there are good things that happened during his regime, like he liberalized the economy and he reformed the economy, and he would be remembered for that. But then somewhere when the Babri Masjid was demolished, there are very credible reports that say that he did not do enough to ensure the non-demolition of the Babri Masjid. So, therefore, the truth somewhere lies in between.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you? You know,
yes,
to judge Narasimha Rao by the claim that he didn't do enough when the Babri Masjid was being demolished is a bit like judging Mulayam Singh Yadav by the fact that the CBI spent many years inquiring into his alleged disproportionate assets, even though eventually they cleared him. Surely, these are unfair ways of judging people. If you want to use an unfair yardstick for Narasimha Rao, I point out to you there are many unfair yardsticks against Mulayam Singh Yadav. You surely, as a party, wouldn't want this to be the way leaders are judged?
Karan, this is not a good analogy for the reason that the CBI case was shut after the Supreme Court had passed an order and the CBI found nothing. I don't want to get into the details because then we'll be drifting away from today's topic. But if the Prime Minister of the country will not take responsibility for the demolition, then who would?
All right.
And that's why I said there are credible reports that he did not do enough.
Okay, let me put your point then. Let me put your point to Nalin Kohli.
You cannot change history. You have to give him credit for good things that he did, but at the same time, there are certain blots also on his political career.
Nalin Kohli, the charge being made by Azam Khan and in a sense endorsed this evening by Gaurav Bhatia, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, is that one reason your BJP government is keen to build a memorial is that this was a man who did very little, so it's said, when the Babri Masjid was being demolished, and this is gratitude for what Azam Khan calls his tacit understanding with the RSS. How do you respond to that?
I have three sets of comments. First is on Mr. Narasimha Rao himself. Beyond the liberalization, here was a man who was very learned. He was a linguist. He spoke fluently 5 or 6 languages.
7.
We in college
Spanish,
remember
7.
A lot of people speaking very highly about him throughout for his knowledge, width of knowledge, and also the fact that he could, under trying circumstances, hold that ground of the Prime Minister and bring about change that eventually was needed. In fact, many people felt that he never took a decision, but on the contrary, he was silent and used to bring it about. So I think running down PV Narasimha Rao is not correct. As far as the Congress parties, it's nice of them to discover that they internally respected him. I don't recall Mrs. Sonia Gandhi as the president of the Congress party eulogizing him or paying him tributes in any of her speeches, while she remembered eloquently Pandit Nehru, Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, and Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. After all, Narasimha Rao was the first non-Gandhi family Prime Minister who served a full term. So, I mean, these are big achievements that have been ignored. With regard to Mr. Azam Khan and what Gaurav Bhatia is saying, well, Mr. Azam Khan is known for his pearls of wisdom. We can't really compete with that. Mr. Azam Khan would probably, his legacy would be restricted to his buffaloes getting lost in the Uttar Pradesh whole government, getting down to look for it. So therefore, as far as Mr. Azam Khan is, he's trying to politicize it. If you buy the standards of what you said is, then Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav should be remembered for his infamous remark, boys will be boys and they should be forgiven for committing only something as heinous as rape. Okay. So this is not how you look at it. Gaurav is trying to make a case where one doesn't exist. Narasimha Rao ji is being acknowledged, and if at all, as a Prime Minister of India, whose history has been unkind, particularly in the last 10-12 years, or at least the last 10 years of the UPA. Okay. And as far as the BJP is concerned, every Prime Minister, preceding Prime Minister Modi, deserves respect for what they did for the nation. That includes Mrs. Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi, Pandit Nehru. We can't run down Prime Ministers just because we have political differences with them.
Kalani Shankar, Mr. Narasimha Rao was very close to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That was apparent even when he was Prime Minister and Mr. Vajpayee was leader of the opposition. His economic liberalization was publicly applauded by L.K. Advani. In contrast, his relationship with Sonia Gandhi was troublesome, awkward, difficult. She denied him the right that every other prime minister had, which is a cremation in Delhi. How would he feel today when a BJP government, not a Congress government, has proposed a memorial in his name in Delhi?
Well, you see, it was politics which prevented the Congress government for the past 10 years to build a memorial for Narasimha Rao ji. It is politics which is making the BJP to build a memorial for this. I am sure he would have been very hurt by this kind of politics in his name.
Tell me something else. What sort of relationship did he have with Sonia Gandhi? Because I'm trying to see, why is it that she was so petty as to deny a prime minister the right to a cremation in the capital?
Well, you're asking me a question which nobody knows. I mean, at least I don't know why it happened, because initially first 2 years, I think the relationship was very good. After that, when this Congress tea, the move began, then it became quite bad. And by 95, I think the Congress tea was formed, and after that, the relationship never...
the story goes that Sonia Gandhi felt that Narasimha Rao was not pursuing the cases into Rajiv's death.
That was openly said. It's nothing new about it.
But was it true?
She did feel
no, no, but was he actually being dilatory?
No. It was Mr. Chidambaram who was put on the job to look after the Jain Commission thing.
Was he upset by the way Sonia Gandhi treated him?
Well, I wouldn't say upset, but of course he was quite disappointed.
Disappointed. Would you say he was hurt?
I wouldn't say that also, but he took it in his stride.
He took it in his stride. He didn't expect anything else.
Well, I wouldn't say that also, but he took it in his stride. He just passed through the whole thing, that's all.
You know, Mr. Ram Mohan Rao, how has the treatment of Narasimha Rao by the Congress party gone down with the ordinary people of Telangana? Because the strange thing is this, after that, Congress won 2 huge victories in Andhra Pradesh. Huge. So I come back, has this actually affected the people, or is it just a political issue that parties like yours conveniently raise because it suits your purpose?
No, Mr. Karan, you know, actually Congress party, they are not given respect to P.V. Narasimha Rao. All Telugu people, you know, either Telangana, Andhra, they like him very much. Though he belongs to Congress party, I belong to Telugu Desam party, we all liked him, we supported him. As I mentioned earlier also, the moment news came, immediately we rushed to AIMS when he died. You know, the way Congress party high command treated him very badly. Even the body, they are not allowed AICC. In the same incident, after 4 months, another MP, he died, and they brought the body out to AICC office in Delhi. But Sonia Gandhi, directly he gave a direction to the Chief Minister, Dr. Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy. The body lifted to Andhra Pradesh. There also cremation has not done properly.
Just a moment.
Results also available.
I'm stopping you. I'm stopping you, Mr. Ram Rao. I'm stopping you for a moment. Is it true that the body was denied the right of lying in state for a while at the AICC office?
Well, AICC gates, you know, when you see the 24 Akbar Road, that pillar there, the body was not allowed inside. I mean,
the body was not allowed inside the gates of 24 Akbar Road?
Yes. But whereas it was kept outside.
Outside the gate?
Outside the gate. But then Sonia Gandhi, all of them came, they paid their last respects, all that. From outside the gate only, it was taken away. That's all.
But it wasn't allowed inside the gate?
It wasn't inside.
And these were, these were deliberate instructions?
Well, I don't know about deliberate, otherwise the body was not taken inside.
And you were saying in Kesari's case?
It was taken inside.
So, marked difference between how Kesari, his successor, was treated compared to Narasimha Rao. And both were party presidents.
Yes.
Gaurav Bhatia, I believe you want to come in. Go ahead.
Yeah. Karan, I just want to say that, yes, it's very true that Congress probably did not give Narasimha Rao the respect he deserved, and nobody can deny that, no matter what Mr. Sanjay Jha says. But at the same time, it is equally true that BJP is also not building this memorial because they really admire whatever has been done by Mr. Narasimha Rao. It is a political gimmick, and I would say it's a cheap one. Because they want to score brownie points, they want to
We actually put that to Nalin Kohli at the very start of the show when sadly you weren't with us, so that's an issue we've been through, which is why I'm stopping you. We've been through that.
Allow me 30 seconds and I can make my point. So it's not as if the BJP doesn't know what kind of politics they are doing. Secondly, Mr. Nalin Kohli was talking about buffaloes. If it is his first love, he can continue.
No, I'm not going down to buffaloes. Each of you are entitled to a bit of rhetoric, but I'm not getting deflected by buffaloes. Sanjay Jha, today's Indian Express leader says, and I'm quoting, Congress must congratulate the NDA for this planned commemoration of Narasimha Rao. Are you prepared to do that?
Well, I'm glad you're asking me a question after a belated gap. The point I wish to answer, number one, before I answer your question, is that the BJP played politics with Sardar Patel's statue, trying to, historically, create some kind of a distortion to appropriate a legendary figure of Indian politics and give him a communal complexion. And there is a motivated gesture even here. But I think Gaurav Bhatia needs to be corrected, Karan Thapar, because the truth is that Kalyan Singh was the chief minister, a BJP chief minister, who gave a written affidavit to the Supreme Court and allowed the destruction of the Babri Masjid. And Samajwadi Party had a truck with him in the 2002
I'm so glad to hear you defend Mr. Narasimha Rao. Now, will you answer my question? Do you owe a congratulation to the NDA, as the Indian Express says? And then I'll come to Nalin Kohli.
Not at all. Because the truth is the BJP is doing another flip-flop here. What is the truth? The truth is that as per their own administrative cabinet decision, a separate Samadhi cannot be made. And Karan, you should be aware that under Dr. Manmohan Singh, the UPA tweaked the policy to say that there should be one common place where
Surjewala began by thanking the BJP. You're going back to the technical faults he also found. Yes, Nalin Kohli, we are in a very interesting situation. The BJP wants a memorial for a man who was their opponent. The Congress party is cavilling at the fact that their own Prime Minister who gets a memorial, all sorts of technical rules and regulations are being broken to do that memorial. It's also been proven that the Congress party was downright nasty when Narasimha Rao died. Kalyani Shankar, who is his confidant, has proved it. I'm coming back to you for the last word, Nalin Kohli. It's been an evening where politicians has been turned topsy-turvy, loyalty thrown out of the window, vituperation has become the common parlance of the day. Go ahead.
If it were only pure politics, let's not forget that Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao dismissed 4 BJP governments after the demolition of the Babri Masjid. And I don't think there is in political that kind of magnanimity still in our democracy that you get governments dismissed and you erect a memorial in his honor. It's in the honor of a Prime Minister who served this nation, not about petty politics. The Congress is entitled to look at it otherwise. And Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, for the record, I don't own buffaloes. That is not my first love, it's the love of your minister. But your police is good. They can find buffaloes. Maybe they can help find a missing MP of Amethi.
I want to come back to you, Kalyani Shankar. The credit for the economic liberalization that happened when Narasimha Rao was Prime Minister has always been given to Dr. Manmohan Singh because he was Finance Minister. But many have believed that it wouldn't have been possible without Narasimha Rao's backing and support. And many who perhaps have some understanding of what happened say that actually some of the more important measures were measures that Mr. Narasimha Rao thought of and insisted Manmohan Singh implement, particularly those to do with the Industrial Relations Act, and not Manmohan Singh himself. So does Narasimha Rao deserve much more credit than he's got, and perhaps Manmohan Singh a little less?
Well, I would say that but for the Prime Minister's okay, nothing could move. And particularly at that time, when the country was going through a terrible economic crisis and the World Bank was giving loan, and World Bank had given conditions of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the government had to implement it, whether Mr. Manmohan Singh or anybody else. So it was a done deal already. So, but of course, Mr. Rao probably allowed Manmohan Singh to take credit. He didn't come forward and took the credit, but at the same time, he had a tough time in convincing the party to go along with the economic reforms. Till the last year, they were saying reforms with the human face, and some of them even felt that the party lost because of the reforms. So those things, he managed the party and he allowed Dr. Singh to go ahead with the reforms.
So he both allowed Dr. Singh a free hand, for which he deserves credit, and he also deserves credit for handling the backlash or the resistance from within the party. And in both instances, he hasn't been given the credit he deserves.
Yes, yes.
My thanks to you for coming to studio.
But Karan, one thing, but Dr. Manmohan Singh always gives credit to him.
Absolutely. Dr. Manmohan Singh always does, but no one else does. That's the sad part. Neither in Congress and sometimes not even outside Congress. Thank you for coming to studio. My thanks also to my other guests for joining me. And there we end this particular episode. If you have been, thanks for watching. Goodbye. Good night.